Good morning, America. It is I, JC, in the room with none other than the Dr. Solomon, and we are back for another episode of the Book Man Saturday Conversation. We talking about all kinds of topics. Big topics, small topics, young topics, math topics, gay topics, hate topics, hate topics, them topics. Whatever you want to talk about, we talking about. That's what we do here at the Book Man. We talk about stuff that matters to us. Man, we on this thing, we doing it. All right, welcome, my man, Doc. How you doing this morning, big brother?
Man, what's up, bro? Man, I'm glad to be here as always, man. It's a pleasure to be doing this with you, man. You know, it's getting on a year, man. It's almost a couple more months. We're going to be a year in.
Consistency. We said we were going to do this. We're going to be consistent. I feel like we're accomplishing that. That's the first part of anything is being consistent.
Oh, yeah, man.
And we're just going to keep moving forward. I think we got a better product now than what we had when we started. And those two things, that's the two things I wanted to accomplish this year was be consistent and continuous improvement.
Yeah, and it's just the just a conversation that we've been having is just everybody can see it.
Yeah, that's it. It's a conversation. It's a conversation I think a lot of people have, and a lot of folks aren't seeing it. I think here we bring a different side because we here on a more of a motivational side and trying to tell this side or that side they doing right or this side or that side they doing wrong. Listen, we all doing some right, we all doing some wrong, but we can all use a little push to do better.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. All right. Like I promised in the post, man, there's some heavy stuff today.
Yo, yeah. Well, first off, before we do that, y'all see the link. If you want to click in, you want to jump in, feel free. Also, if you're here, like, share, subscribe. We broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube, and that's a better platform for you. Follow all the links, jump in, be a part of the conversation. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and y'all missing some stuff I know I got to say my little piece about this too. The book study, bro, y'all need to be there. That is the thing. That's the ticket right there. You want something that's going to change your life? That's it.
That's it.
Don't miss it. Thursdays at 7.
Yeah, we own that. We live, baby. Thursday at 7. We in the 48 Laws of Power. We are taking suggestions for the next book. We want to have that information out to you guys in the next couple of weeks about what's the next book. We're going to give y'all a chance to purchase it or download it or whatever your preferred choice is. Me and Doc also trying to figure out a way if we're going to produce some PDFs and whatnot for the crew, for the team. If you want to read along with us, so we can keep that conversation going. Because one thing I've learned doing this book study is multiple point of views is how you get the most out of any material.
Yes, man, that thing be hot, boy. But
I'm
telling you, when I get one thing when I do it, but when me and you talk and then the OG come in, look, that be the thing, that be the ticket right there. Y'all got to get on.
The multiple point of views matter. It just matters, man. There's so much information to think you as one man is going to grasp all the information put into something as well developed as the 48 Laws of Power. You're not going to get all of it. You need basically talking about it. Multiple people is almost like reading it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You're right. Because every time I go through it, I get more. So reading alongside with you and other people that are following along, I'm getting more and more than I probably would have ever gotten on my own.
For sure, man. So y'all got to be there for that. And then before we get started, last thing, I finished the first module on improving our credit and our finances. So I'm thinking next week I might get started with that, and I'll probably put it up on YouTube where you can join in and follow along and do the exercise. Like, this is actual workshop. It is a workshop. So what you're going to need for the first one, you're going to need access to your bank statement. You're going to need some kind of composition book or some paper. And we're going to go through and I'm going to show you how to break this thing down. If you're an electronic kind of version, I got Google Sheets made up. I can share with you. You can type it in and it'll calculate all your stuff for you. I mean, it is there ready to go. And I don't want you to do this by yourself. We're going to do this whole thing together. I'm doing it too for my stuff. So we're going to first talk about cash flow. And then we're going to get into fixing our own credit. I'm not a guru. I don't know everything, but I've been picking up stuff here and there. And as I go through the trip, you're going to go through the trip. We're going to do it together. So let's go.
Just trust me. It helps credit cash flow, money, any of that stuff is like almost anything else in your life. It takes some intention, it takes consistency, and it takes a little dedication, and you can improve. I myself have been doing some things in the past 6 months to a year to really work on improving my credit. And in that time, I've gone up almost 100 points. So it doesn't take as long as you think.
No.
It doesn't require nearly as much money as you think.
No.
And because I don't think I'm only $500 in, and my credit's over 100 points. I think I maybe spent $100, and then half of that, 300 of that, is really my money because it's on a secure credit card. So
there you go.
So it really didn't even spend the 300. But I'm telling you, it's not hard. You just got to be intentional about it. It's gonna take you paying attention to what you're doing, and that's it. And you can really make a lot long strides in your credit and your cash flow and improve your quality of life. And with the rate of inflation being so much higher than the rate of improvement in pay, you got to figure out a way to increase the money you have.
Look, here's the thing, bro. And I know I'm gonna say this thing, I'm gonna leave it alone. Our currency is not back from gold and stuff like that no more.
Nope.
The currency is credit.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's all it is.
People don't even use paper money no more. We use debit cards, electronic money. I'm not talking about crypto and this and that. Nope. I'm talking about straight up credit. That's the right now. That
is the right. Because listen, our money is not real. We really just basing it on hopes and dreams. So just like they say, control your thoughts. If our money ain't but hopes and dreams, control your thoughts, you'll control your money.
There you go. All right, man. It's a whole bunch of stuff here, man. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And a lot of stuff going on in the world that we need to discuss and that men need to know their positions on.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's stop off here first. And we're gonna spend like maybe a minute on this thing and like a minute on the next thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna revisit our conversation from before because it's still going on hot.
Right.
And that's the Roe v. Wade.
Okay.
Now, real quick, man, what's your idea on that? And if anybody out there want to say something about it, y'all go ahead and put it in the comments.
Okay. All right. I got a couple of things about the Roe v. Wade. First off, I disagree with the overturn. I'm gonna say that up front. I disagree with the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Now, this is my reaction to what I'm seeing in my social media feed and what I'm talking to people about. I did not, and again, this is my feed. It could be very different other people's feed. I had no idea the number of women that thought of abortion as birth control. Because I never thought of it that way. I always thought of it as an emergency, as I made a horrible mistake. I need to fix this type of deal. I never looked at abortion as something women just say, "Oh, let me go get an abortion because I got pregnant." Like I always thought it was like, okay, I'm living on the street. I better not bring a baby into this type of deal.
Right.
So that was the first thing that was odd to me, the amount of women that said, "Oh, now since we don't have abortion to fall back on anymore, we don't want to date men anymore," and all that kind of stuff. That was real odd. I was like, why were y'all using abortion as birth control when there's multiple other types of birth control available?
That's right.
Way before abortion. Like it's not like that was odd. So then the second thing was the amount of women or people in general, not even just women, but the amount of people in general that seem to be upset with men for not saying anything. That was kind of weird because for a long time in my situation, in my world, women often say it's not a man's issue. We don't want to hear from men. So now that this is happening, it's going, in a way. Again, I disagree with the overturn. Now they're saying why the men aren't speaking out. Well, y'all told us it wasn't our issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, you ladies, either y'all want our input or you don't. But you don't get to pick and choose. Either we We don't do that with y'all. Y'all gonna tell us how y'all feel all the time, no matter what.
That's true.
So if y'all asking us to stay out of it when it's good, when y'all have it the way you want, don't ask us to come jump back in it when it's not the way you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the two main things that I've been seeing. What about you, Doc?
Okay. Like I said before, well, honestly, this showing me how much people don't understand the world.
True.
It's a lot of things people don't get. Also, I think that we try to simplify things that shouldn't be simple. This is not a simple topic.
It is not.
So I'll say this: Supreme Court overturned. So here's the things you got to look at. One, what's the role of the Supreme Court? It's not the will of the people. It's what the Constitution say.
Right. It's to decipher the law as it applies to the people. Right.
Exactly. They did their job, but they didn't outlaw it and say it's illegal. They say the states get to choose.
Right.
So it's not gone. It's just the states get to choose. Now, what I do think is wrong is that if a state says you can't do abortion here, I don't think they need to persecute people and track them and see if they go to another state to do it. It shouldn't apply like that. That's wrong.
That's definitely wrong. If you live in a state that outlaws abortion, and you choose to drive to the next state over that says it's fine, I don't think it should be illegal.
Nope.
I think that should be a crime. It's no different than if I like marijuana and I choose to go take vacation in the state that says it's legal.
They can't track you. That's wrong.
That's right.
I do think it's wrong to, like you said, using it for birth control. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Because
there's too many other options.
I mean,
it's a medical procedure. Anything that's a medical procedure has an inherent risk, so it should not be taken lightly.
So to not have responsibility for yourself, the price people willing to pay is so high that they're willing to undergo the knife, undergo things happening to them.
Well,
because they say, I want to do what I want to do.
Well, I'll present this to one of the major things that that people say about why abortion should be legal, which I don't disagree with, is, well, what if she get raped? Or what if she, what if it was taking advantage of all that stuff? Agreed. Then if that's the case, then it's not traditional birth control. And it shouldn't be looked at as birth control.
Well, bro, look at the numbers. The numbers say, the statistics on it say that those cases are less than like 3% of all of them. Correct. So you can't use the argument for a small amount to justify the big amount.
Well, I'm a push back just a little bit on that. Reported, 3% reported.
Okay.
I would imagine that number is probably a lot closer to 10%, but that's still too small an amount. I think 3% of the women who have abortions are willing to go in there and report that it came from, a sexual abuse type situation. I believe it's probably, and I only say that because it is heartbreaking and baffling to me the number of women, when I speak to women who've had a sexual abuse situation happen.
Oh yeah. So, now that thing is rampant. It happens.
It's rampant and it's sad, and I'm so hard. So that's why I say that's probably maybe 3% reported, and it's probably a lot higher number than the reported number.
And that may be the case. Also, I'll say this. People, well, about what you said about with men being involved, and they said don't affect us, but it do.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the part that I'm having trouble with, because when it comes to kids, men don't matter unless we paying for stuff. Because that child didn't get here. It wasn't no immaculate conception.
Right.
There was a father that was there. And that father has no say so. Now, I do believe that it should be, if you split it up in a percentage, maybe it should be 60-40. 60 for the person that's doing the carrying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or that the father, except in cases of rape and incest. But more so, I think we've got to a point to where we spend time and resources reacting to things. We spend a lot of time reacting, and we don't do enough prevention.
Correct.
This is abortion is reactionary.
Yes.
And why don't we, I think we should invest time and money into other things like adoption. I had a homeboy who wanted to adopt a kid. Him and his wife, they tried in vitro, they did all of this stuff, and they wanted to adopt a kid, right? So I had to write them a letter to tell what kind of people they was, and then they had to pay $20,000, and that was with a grant,
right,
to just adopt the baby. Man, I went out there and stood in some mud for like 6 hours to help them adopt their baby. Why we got to do that? These was good people.
Okay, two things. I'm gonna say two things. One, the procedure, the process required to adopt a child is just, I mean, that's an arduous process, and it really needs to, because if it's going to be that arduous to adopt a child, it should be that arduous to bring a child into the world.
Exactly. Or to give one away.
We'll let anybody produce a baby, but a person got to be, A1, grade 1, everything to adopt a child.
And have tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
These was teachers. These two people was teachers. The husband and the wife was a teacher. And you had to come up with $20,000?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So what you're saying is those two people are okay to teach the masses of children, but they got to come out of pocket instead of that $20,000 being for the child, just to adopt.
You had to pay it in fees.
In fees.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Especially when the social, I don't know what's the word for the social
social
system. The system.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When that system is overwhelmed, anytime you got a parent there to drop a child, especially a child of color, hell, it should just be, all you want them? Go ahead, come on.
I mean, exactly. Check them out. They working, make them do some psychological stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe look at their family tree and stuff where they living at, inspect the house. I'm down with all that.
Yeah.
Do all that. Don't make them pay all that money.
Yeah.
They want the kid. The kid need a place to stay.
$20,000, hell, that's tuition.
So that's what I'm saying. Instead of looking at this, let's change them rules. But of course, the focus, this ain't got nothing to do with children. Not one thing.
Nope. It's control.
And then also, man, the last thing I'll say is this. I've been seeing the same things, but on my feed, it was a lot of men that's got nothing to do with you. Or two things. One, they should say, well, men don't have something where the government are controlling their bodies. And I said, oh, yes, we do. Because you and I had to sign up to be in the military or something went down.
Oh, yes, selective service.
And they say, oh, wars don't happen. But when it go down, because guess what? When 9/11 happened, I sure enough was sitting on the edge of my seat, like, oh, them jokers about to call me up.
You know it. Me too.
You know it was going down.
Oh, yeah. And that's selective service so serious. You don't do that, you're going to jail.
You go to jail, you can't do nothing. My boy got to sign up for it in a couple years. You got to do it.
He can't get a scholarship without it.
But that's not controlling that's directly putting our lives in danger. And then the other thing that was really horrendous, they're saying that teenage boys, when boys hit puberty, they should have to have vasectomies and then they can be reversed. And to that, I say those people are insane.
I'm going to say this. If it was a perfect procedure, I would say you have a better argument. But since it's an imperfect procedure, there is no argument. If it was if you could tell me it was 100% reversible, without error, even if it was 99.9, I would grant the argument as a solid argument. But it's only about 70% effective.
Well, and then that's in the beginning. The longer you have it,
the harder
it goes down. You can't reverse. But this is not equal. It's not equal. So you want to mutilate boys just because they a boy and of age versus someone taking the choice to have some. That's not equal. So I don't like that.
No, it's not equal at all. Because what you're doing is you're saying we're going to mutilate you no matter what. Whereas on the other end, on the other side of that, when you speak on the abortion or whatever, you're saying after you already made the mistake, after you already had a chance, then this is a available option for you. When there were multiple preventative measures that could have been taken.
That's right. They want the men to fight against the whole abortion thing, and that's they trying to coerce men to doing it. And they be like, man, I ain't messing with it.
I feel like this should, and I hope it really does, forces the conversation between a lot of mothers and daughters.
Yeah.
And the conversation I hope it forces is when your daughter turns 14, 15, 16 years old, I know we all love our daughters and we all think they sweet, innocent babies or whatever, but you might want to think about having that birth control conversation.
That's right.
Because that door, that you need to open that door, have that conversation. And I know none of us want to do it. I don't want to do it. I got a 14-year-old girl, but it's a real conversation.
And also,
we all know having a child is a life-changing thing.
Bro, we had a conversation with my daughter yesterday. She about to be 18.
Right.
And my wife was telling her about the clothes you wear and how you wear your clothes make a difference.
Right.
And she said, Daddy, look, isn't that true? If you dress a certain way, then men and boys think that you a certain way. They think the shop open. And what I told her, because my daughter is kind of progressive. She's looking at stuff, kind of modern like that.
Yeah.
But she still has a lot of traditional things. But I told her, and I mean, I said it like this: don't let those SJWs trick you.
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you that you should be able to wear whatever you want, and that people shouldn't react to it. And they telling you how the world should be, but not telling you how it is. And what it is if you dress a certain way, then people gonna think you that way.
Yep.
Don't be showing your stuff. Now, she wasn't. Now, this was this conversation, so she wasn't doing nothing inappropriate or nothing like that. But the conversation steered that way,
right?
And that's the truth.
I think Dave Chappelle had a joke about this years ago, and he said women will say, "Oh, just because I'm dressed a certain way doesn't mean I am a certain way." And you know what? She's right. It does not mean you are, but you sure are wearing a Hose uniform.
Yeah.
Then he said, look at it like this. I get attacked and I run and I look down the street and I see somebody in a police uniform and I run up on them and I say, help me, sir. And they turn around and say, hey, just because I am dressed this way does not mean I am a cop. Please don't assume anything. Say, you'll be mad then.
Yep, that's right.
So, and I think that's a real way of looking at it. Is like, okay, you're right. It doesn't mean you are promiscuous or any of that type of stuff. But if there's a woman dressed this way and a woman dressed the other way, people going to
approach you different.
Right. I'm going to talk to you different. I'm going to approach you different. Let's go. I'll go like this. If you walk in with pink hair and nails out to here and a tight fitted skirt on, I'm going to have less respect for you than if you walk in with your natural hair and your face is regular makeup or no makeup and your clothes fitting properly.
There you go.
I'm going to treat you different. One of you, I'm going to look at it and say, oh, okay, she might be dating material. And the other one, I'm looking at, oh, she's good for the night.
There you go. And it's a difference.
It's a difference.
It is a difference.
Yeah.
So,
all right, city girl if you want to.
Okay. And boys, don't wear them hoochie daddy shorts.
Hey, please. Hoochie daddy shorts out there. Come on, fellas. Hey. Some are hitting hard now. Tighten up.
All right, man. So let's jump to the next one because we got a few things to cover today.
Yeah.
Now this one gonna be real quick too because this horse has been beat to death. All right, buying McDonald's. Now, it has been put out there that the video wasn't real. It was faked. And there was a skit. But the important thing about it is that it did start a conversation.
It did do that.
For me, it let me know where people are and the fact that our people don't listen. they don't details elude people.
Yes. We're very emotional.
They elude folks, man. So what you got to say about this thing real quick, and we're gonna jump on to the next one.
The first thing I want to say is his responsibility is his child. On the other side of that, I would prefer if a man in that situation that you go and get your child. I do think it's rude to feed the child in front of other kids. The best thing you could do is pick your child up and ride off. Realistically, truthfully, if it happens more than once, if she has to call, if my child had to call me and tell me to bring them some food or pick them up or whatever, because there's no food in the house more than once, my child needs to live there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the second time is I'm hanging the phone up with the child and calling her and saying, "Hey, look here. I don't know what's going on over there. Everybody has their situations and their problems, but you know, I'm gonna need my child to come stay with me until you get that handled. Because this is the second time in XYZ amount of time where I got a call about there's no food in the house. And especially if I'm doing what I'm doing for, like if I'm paying child support or active in my child's life or whatever that is, and which if the child feels comfortable enough to call you and say I don't got no food, that's probably a pretty active parent. At that point, it's like, hey, you know, and then I'm gonna keep my child until you get that squared away, or I'm gonna file custody to change this around because there's no reason for my child to be in a place where the food isn't there. That's ridiculous.
That's right. That's right. Connecting to what I said earlier about people don't pay attention to details, and they don't. In the video, again, it was a skit, but in the video, the first thing that lady said was, he's been coming here every day this week, bringing this food. Everybody missed that. Then they say, oh yeah, well, he not a real man, which I can't stand that thing, but he's not a real man because he should have brought for all the kids. I'd have brought for all the kids. Okay, that's fine. But if he's been doing that all week, is it your job to oh, there we go. All right. Hey, that's T. My child ain't got no business being hungry and I got strength. That's right. That's right. But the thing is, okay, what I extrapolated from the situation was that he'd been bringing food all week. And this was more about control.
Yep.
So are you going to feed all them kids every day for the week? See what I'm saying? So ain't nobody talking about that. They say, oh yeah, a real man should have did this or that. A real man would have bought for all the kids. You dirt bag of a human if you ain't did it. Well, guess what? I mean, it's always easy for somebody else to be the noble one. But people ain't going to do that for themselves.
Nope.
It's only so much given. It's a point where you got to cut some stuff off.
I don't care if it was. I honestly don't care if it was one day all week. All week does matter because that means you were unprepared to take care of these children.
Mm-hmm.
You came into a week expecting somebody else to provide for your children.
Exactly.
For all week long for them to eat. That's what you. That was your approach.
Then she got stamps. Now she's supposed to have stamps.
Yeah, they don't come to the 11.
But they said she probably sold us that because there was social workers out there broke that thing down. If you got 4 kids, you should be getting like $1,200 in stamps.
Yeah.
You sold the stamps. T said he got custody of his son because of that. And there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think men should. We know that the court's against us. We know that's how it is, but you still got to play the game. You got to at least.
But that's why this is one of the things I love about social media. I love about texting. The voice, you can put voice record on your phone. Like you can build your case.
Yeah.
It's not really that hard to build your case if the person really isn't doing their job as a parent. Now, my personal situation, I don't think I ever have to worry about that. I don't believe the mother of my son live with me, but my daughter stays with her mother. I seriously doubt I ever had that issue. Also, she is big enough as a person Well, she'll pick up the phone before it gets that bad.
Right.
Either call somebody else in my family or call me, and that's really the issue. The issue isn't that she was short on money. The issue was you wait till I'm coming over there with the food to have a problem.
Yes.
Like when you
Pride.
last week, if it's been all week, you knew last week you wasn't gonna have money for food in this house. You should have called me last week and gave me the option. Hey, look, I'm kind of struggling over here. Do you want to come get your son? Because I don't really have enough food over here. I'm calling all of their daddies or whoever is involved and seeing if they want to come get them because I don't have food over here.
Yeah, and then Jay said depends on the state, if you can record legally. One thing I saw too, they said that your social media can they dig into that. So
Yeah.
stuff that they post themselves.
Yeah, that's free game. That's why I say it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair game. If she posted herself, that's not an invasion of privacy or any of that.
You know what? I saw a video this lady did, and I was like, well, I ain't thought about it like that. It was two things she said. One, the people that say he should have bought for all the kids, then the next time you send your kid to school and you buy, them fancy gel pens, you need to buy enough for the whole class because the classmates ain't got no pens either.
Exactly.
And one thing she said too is that's what's, and I see this because I'm a teacher and I see it. We teaching kids that if everybody can't have it, nobody can have it. So I see kids right now that go and if somebody got something special, they're going to tear it up or throw it, and they will say that. Well, everybody ain't got it, so she don't need to have it either.
And that's just not how it is. That's not the world we live in. The world we live in is you get what you earn.
Yep. And Jay said I saw the response. Yeah, that was worse than video.
Well, once we all know it's fake, it made it sadder to me.
Yeah. That
a person would do all this for some likes. The dude, you a joke to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would let why would you even play with that about your kids and all that stuff? No. It's a little ridiculous.
No, it's money. It is money. TikTok pay you for views that you get. If you get over a certain number of views, TikTok send you a check.
I mean, that's fine, but I don't think I'm gonna involve my kids in that manner.
Well, honestly, I don't think the kids was on there. Was the kids?
They weren't in there, but don't even talk about mine.
Oh,
don't even talk about mine. If you aren't inventive enough, funny enough, smart enough, clever enough, willing to find something that people are interested in, if you can't think of anything other than using your kids as a pawn in a TikTok video, whatever. You're not like I saw one not too long ago. Some woman was putting tattoos on her kid.
Oh yes.
And she's the same thing. She's a TikToker. She got a lot of followers and all that stuff. And the whole TikTok is around pretty much dressing her son like a thug.
Yep. And like we talked about earlier, you dress like something, that's what you're gonna be perceived as, and that's what's gonna be.
Right. The whole thing around dressing her son like a thug, and I think that's ridiculous, man. Come on, we where we are as a society or as a community, as Black people, is infuriating sometimes.
Yes.
I saw a post. There's a party that people got going on talking about. It's called "What That Mouth Do."
Bruh, I saw that. Oh man,
it's embarrassing. And when I say again, please watch this on YouTube. I don't know if I might take the time to post it somewhere. Post it in here. It's called The Nigga Factor.
We got to talk about that one, man. We got to get
by speech. It's 3 parts, and it talks about the way since for the last 30 years or so how media and the conglomerates and all of that have basically found a way to malign African Americans and keep us as adolescents to the age of 35.
Yeah.
So that would mean somebody like myself, who is 40, just broke out of adolescence. And I can honestly say it works. Because I remember about 36 years old, I woke up and said, I got to change my life. I'm wasting my life.
Yeah.
And I am going about the business of changing everything.
And that's why we started this whole thing.
Yep.
That's why we started all of this. I
Yep.
mean,
and it's a hard process. Doc knew. Doc,
bro.
Me and Doc had a deep conversation one time. Doc called me and asked if I was all right. And I wasn't.
Look,
I was not all right.
I remember that.
And I was in the midst of all this transitioning.
Yeah.
I was not all right because I didn't know. When you go from what you were to what it's very hard to give up the comfort of who you are.
Yeah. You got to redefine yourself.
Yeah. It's very hard because Eric Thomas says you have to be willing to give up what you are for who you want to become. Because if who you are was going to get you where you wanted to go, you'd already be there.
That's right. That's right. And it's a lot of things that we have to put down. But here's the thing. Men don't know what to put down. And what society tells us to put down is not it. It is not it. We listen to the wrong people.
Yep.
We listen to the wrong people. You can't listen to somebody who's not a man tell you how to be a man.
Thank you.
There you go. You got to align yourself with other men. You have to, man.
Let's take this and roll this on to this next topic because I don't want to talk about the McDonald's thing no more.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Here go the real topic for today. The real topic. Now, Jay Sims, the Lion, has sent me a video early in the week, and I wanted to play it, but the video got removed. So, we just gonna have to just talk about it. Look at this. We don't lead correctly. So, Jay, go ahead and tell them about what the video was, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into it, fellas. We need y'all contribution on this. Like this, a heavy one.
Okay, so basically. The guy was saying there's a lot of people out here on YouTube and social media and TikTok saying, they want a submissive woman to listen and do what you tell them to do and allow her to be a leader or whatever. And they said, why would a woman allow you to lead them or let them lead you if you don't even know how to lead correctly? He said, half of y'all can't lead y'all way out of a wet paper bag.
Mm-hmm.
And to a certain degree, he's absolutely correct. You have to be able to be a leader before you can expect someone to follow.
That's true. You got to lead yourself.
And I think that is why it's important for men to build themselves, have some kind of skill, have some type of financial knowledge, have lived a little bit of life. This is why I tell most men they shouldn't even think about marriage at the age of 30.
I ain't gonna front now. I got married when I was 24.
Right. But if a man asked me, if a young man came to me today, 21, 25 years old, and say, what do you think? I would tell him, you probably need to worry about that till you're about 30 years old. You need to look around yourself, look at the area you live in, find out what your median household income is, and you need to be making that.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have yourself a skill that pays, whatever that is, whether it be a degree, some certificates, some trade, whatever it is, you need to have something verifiable that pays, because these things says you can take care of a home, which is the first part to me when it comes to a relationship is being able to stand on your ground and say, I can do this. And then you needed to really and truly develop your plan in place for you. I tell people 1, 3, 5, 10.
Okay.
You need to have a plan for this year, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. So until you develop that, you really don't have time for women.
What I have learned though is that we don't know how to develop. Like one thing I hear is that people, they throw out their advice, but there's no how to do it.
Right.
And here you go. I wasn't ready to be married in my 20s. That's what T said. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got married at 24. I wasn't ready, but we turned out all right.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that if a young man, 24 years old, came to me and said, you know what, I think I'm about to get married. I want to get married. I'm laying out the pros and cons. Okay, number one, if you get married right now at 24, y'all gonna struggle for a minute because you ain't making that much money.
Nope.
You marrying somebody who really don't know how to be a wife, but you don't know how to be a husband. So y'all gonna have to learn this together. This is on the job training. You already don't know.
Right.
Then I'm
And
gonna
it's on
tell
the
them,
job training for both of y'all, because
yes.
you at 24 not really sure what you
Mm-mm.
want from a woman.
No.
You still developing that. That's why I say, one of the reasons why I say a man should wait till 30, because he needs to develop what he wants and needs from a woman to fill whatever those missing holes are in his life.
But I'm not gonna tell somebody not to do it.
I agree.
I'm just gonna lay out both things. Now, if you wait, you're gonna be more solidified in who you are, your stuff. We're really at 35. I wasn't even solid on that, man. I was lost. I was like just drifting through life up until a couple years ago. I just didn't get it. I mean, I was doing what I was supposed to do. You know, I was working, had the family going on. But you know what I forgot? Me.
Yeah.
I did not develop myself, and that is the issue.
That's the and that is why I make these. That's why I try to give solid goals and points for me. In the route to getting to a certain income, you're going to have to develop some skills. And in developing those skills, you're going to find out what you're good at. You're going to find out what you aren't good at. You're going to find out where you can improve and what you need to absolutely leave alone.
Didn't we talk about this in the book study? Not this Thursday, but the last Thursday. Look, y'all got to come for the book study, man. Y'all got to be there.
You got to be there, and you have to develop these things. Yeah. Which is why I say it that way. I don't care about the money, but en route to getting there, you develop certain things about yourself. And that is what I'm wanting young men to do. I wish I had done that myself. Like I knew where some of my talents lie, but I had never executed them as far as getting me some paperwork behind them.
Right.
Finding out exactly how good I really am at this. You know, finding, you know, half of us as men, we didn't know how to wash our ass properly till we were about 30 years old. You know, we don't even know how to keep our nails clean, to keep your face and your hair cut right like you're supposed to. And when you leave the house, I know I was horrible. I was one of the worst house leaders. When I thought I was just running to the store, man, I'd go out the house looking like straight trash bags.
Man, my daddy told me always leave the house presentable. Like from a little boy. My daddy always
your daddy told you? See how that works?
That's right. Pastor told me that.
Yeah, a man, that's a man teaching you how to be a man.
Yeah. But you know what though? I'm gonna shift this, man. There's two things in that statement that you said that we absolutely need to discuss. The first one is the idea of submission.
Okay.
The second one is about the leading correctly. So I'm gonna I'm gonna let you go first on the submission thing. Then I'm gonna say what some other stuff here.
Okay, well, my interpretation of submission. First off, let's do this. Let's do the book definition of submission. Let's do that. Like, you know, we love to define things here. Let's give them the book definition of submission.
All right. Hold on. I'm getting it, y'all. I'm getting it. All right. Submission. As a noun, the act or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person.
Okay. That's the book definition of submission. Now, I agree that is a solid definition of submission. However, it is my interpretation when it comes to relationships, the will or authority is in the plan.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to submit to me. I'm asking you to submit to the plan. But in order for a woman to submit to the plan, you have to have one. If you show up to the relationship on some, or we'll figure it out, on some willy-nilly type stuff, what if you ain't solid, then let you sound better than what she's talking about. So what you expect her to submit to? Now, if you show up solid and you say, hey, baby, I've worked my plan so far, it's gotten me here. This is where I see us in 3 years. This is where I see us in 5 years. This is where I see us in 10 years. most women can get on board to that without question. What you say, baby? Well, he already made it. He already did this and made himself successful to this point, and he got a solid plan for us. I'm gonna mess with him. I'm gonna roll with that. What you need me to do? Most women are gonna turn around and say, "What you need me to do?"
It sounds like we need to put that on our calendar about setting 1, 3, 5, 10-year goals.
Yeah.
And we need to have an event and put it on the thing. So I'm gonna put that on the calendar, man. We got to be ready.
Okay, let's do it.
So, all right. So here we go, man. This is submission. And I know last week y'all told me to go ahead and cut it loose and say what I'm gonna say from my perspective, and I'm gonna do that.
Oh, let me sit back. Let me get comfortable. I know what's coming. It's fire coming out right now.
So here we go. Now, I have married dozens of people. I'm licensed to do that. And there's certain things where they talk about submission. So here it is. And I've done extensive study on this, but I'm gonna go to what the words say on it, because this is the part that people miss. They like to quote the Bible, but they don't quote the whole thing. So over there in Ephesians, it says that Ephesians 5:21, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. That means that the husband got to submit to the wife submit to the husband. What does that mean? This is what it means. It says that wives, submit yourself unto the husband as unto the Lord. That just means that you show him respect. You respect what he say. You respect him as a person, just like you would do God. Not saying that the man is a God, but you respect him. That's your only job. One, that's how you submit. Show him respect. Now, when it talk about husbands, our list is super long. It's a lot of stuff you got to do as a husband. Love your wives,
give him the list.
Even as Christ have loved the church and gave himself for it. You have to love your wife like Christ loved the church. What does that mean? It don't mean that you buying her flowers 24/7 and doing all that. That means that you leading and guiding her in a direction toward righteousness and goodness. It don't mean all this extra stuff. Now you could do it, but we put too much into that. This way the leading come into. How you making the situation better? How you making her better? That's your job. Then it said that men should love their wives as their own bodies. You don't hate yourself. Love her like you love you.
Oh, let me stop you right there, Doc. Read that again. Men should what?
Okay. So ought men to love their wives as their own body. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
So, okay, this is why I say a man must find his purpose and find his mission and goal in life, because if he hasn't found that and he can't find love in himself, he cannot do his duty as a husband and love his wife.
See, that's what I'm saying. You got to fix up you first before you can properly do that. That's what leading correctly is.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest issues. I don't think enough men out here love themselves properly.
That's right.
So how on earth can they love their women properly? I know I was a victim of that. I know for 100% fact I didn't love myself properly, and it was no way I could ever love my ex-wife properly. I know that now. I couldn't have said that. I couldn't have admitted that a couple years ago.
Nope.
But I know that now.
And you know why?
It was a fixed day. I couldn't do nothing but lose.
But you know what we focus on? We think we cool if I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. As men, all we focus on is work, because it's a physical thing that we can do easily. But in the word, what it just said here, we got to do a whole lot more than that.
Yep.
If you go back and read that thing and the stuff that Jesus did for the church, he traveled around, he went to it, he did service. Not only physical service, but trying to maintain the mind, body, and spirit. You got to do that for you and somebody else.
Yep.
That's what leading correctly is. Leading correctly is not making us get to a point where we millionaires. It's not that. Money is a measurement, not a goal.
Right. What else you got, Doc? I feel like you got some more stuff to cover in there.
Man, and it talks about, let me see if I can see it here. It talks about not being bitter toward your wife. And you got to treat her a certain way. You can't be mean to her all the time. But here's the question: what do you do if she's not on this program? What do you do if she treats you with no respect, but you locked into this thing? What do you do?
Well, I think part of it, which is again why I say a man need to establish himself, is you have to have a certain level of respect for yourself that you're not even going to have a woman around you that doesn't respect you the way you want to be respected.
Well,
if early on, if early on you dealing with a woman and she's disrespectful to you, however that is, and you correct that action, you say, hey, look, I'm not going to be treated like this. I need you to fix this. And she refuses to do that. At that point, young man, you need to get out of it. Because sooner or later, that level of disrespect is going to end your marriage. It is going to end your relationship. Because respect, appreciation, and praise, a man needs to be wrapped to, and I'm going to stick with that. Respect, appreciation, and praise. If we can't get that from a woman, we out of it. If you can't rap to me, I ain't interested.
Tell them what it is one more time.
Rap. R-A-P. Respect, appreciation, and praise. If you can't do that, if you're with a man and you don't feel like you can do that, leave. Fellas, if you're with a woman and she doesn't do that for you, leave. Because you're going to do it anyway. You're going to leave a cheat anyway.
So the thing is, but here's the issue. You already married, right? And all of a sudden you start waking up. You start finding yourself after a few years, and you start developing what respect is to you. And you look over when you wake up in the morning and the person sleeping beside you treat you like dirt.
Okay.
What do you do?
I mean, you got to start going through all the different moves if you want to try to maintain your marriage. First, of course, it's a conversation between you and that person. And then if you need some help, maybe you go to the church, maybe you go to a counselor. But I think if you know for a fact it's certain things you need to stay in your marriage, then you have to be aggressive about getting those things. And if the person you're with has stood on their ground saying they can't provide those things to you, I don't know where you can go from there. I don't know where you can go from there. They decide they're not going to give it to you. I don't know what you're going to do from there.
It's one of those things, and I always say this: you can't change other people, but you can always change yourself.
Right.
You need to start working on you. I tell any man that when they say, I'm having a problem here or that, I say, well, you got to work on you first. And there's 3 sections you got to work on. And you know me, Jay, I always say this: mind, body, and spirit. You got to work on those 3 things at the same time. Work on your mind. That's why we have the book study. You got to read some books. You got to talk to some people. You got to get that mind sharp. Learn something, do something. The body. Get some exercise.
Yes.
I ain't saying go hit the gym super hard, but you got to do something. Do some push-ups in the house. Do something. Go walk around the block. Do all of that.
Every man needs to invest himself in a certain level of physicality. It's a part of who we are. Don't act like it isn't. Go to the gym. Take a martial art, boxing, a martial art. Go to the gun ring. I'm
trying to find right now.
go to the gun ring. Learn how to use a weapon. There's a certain level of confidence that comes with that as a man. Of one, knowing you can defend yourself and you can defend your family.
That's right.
So, and you have to have a certain level of physicality to do that. I know the world is what it is, but if the shit hit the fan, you need to know I can do something.
You got to be able to get it. And then, the last one, spirit, you got to work on that. And now I'm not saying that you got to be all religious, but you got to have a some kind of foundation in something.
Absolutely.
That's going to guide what you're doing. Mind, body, spirit. You got to do them 3. Now, when you're working on those 3 things on you, either that person gonna change because they see you not the same person, and
Or they
they
gonna
gonna
leave.
change,
Or they gonna
or
leave.
they gonna.
Or they gonna work themselves out.
That's right.
They're gonna change. They're gonna change and develop and catch up to you, or they're gonna work themselves out. And then
go ahead, man.
they're gonna come back later and say, "Oh, do you think you something special?" Yes, I do. I do. That's another thing, fellas. You can say that. You know, you can say that, fellas. You can say, "Yeah, I think I'm something special." So don't let nobody tell you, "Oh, you think you something special?" You damn right I do.
That's right. Where that Kevin said, I'm gonna find that video where he said that. That thing hit me so hard where he was saying about believing in you. We did a show about it.
Yeah,
we did a show about, man, that thing. I'm gonna put it in the group. Today
because it's true. Like, come on, man. You should. Yes, your woman, if she's a good woman, is a catch, and she's a prize. I 100% agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So are you. If you're a good man and you do what you're supposed to do, you are a prize out here. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to say the higher quality of man you make yourself, the bigger prize you are. And I believe the highest level of man supersedes the highest level of woman because it's rarer in the world. And that's according to women. Y'all have said that good men are rare. Y'all say that. So by your math, if good men are rare and women are just all good across the board, then a rare man is more valuable, supply and demand, than a good woman. By y'all math, ladies. It's not my math, it's y'all math.
But you got to work on you. And that's how you lead correctly. When you work on you and get yourself in alignment, then everything goes. Now, I will say this, when people say if they lead correctly, I'll do right, whatever. I'm gonna say this, and don't listen to them people, because there is no instance where the follower can dictate to the leader. No instance. It ain't no way you can go on a basketball team and tell the coach,
right,
nah, we running these plays. It don't work that way. So don't listen to them people when they say stuff like that.
That's a cop-out.
And actually, the only people that say that, I'm gonna follow a man who can lead me correctly and all that, they by themselves.
Yeah, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out for why they can't maintain a relationship. Because if you was, it shouldn't even be an option. You shouldn't even be dealing with the man if he can't lead you correctly. If you don't see him as a leader initially, you shouldn't even be dealing with him.
No.
So
but what I'm getting to is this. They don't know what leading correctly is.
Thank you.
Followers can't tell you that.
Nope.
You don't go on your job and say, oh no, we don't need to load these loads like that, because you have a limited view. Followers only have a limited view because they only have access to a certain amount of information.
Correct.
They don't know we got to load like this today because Friday some heavy stuff coming.
Yeah.
They don't know that unless you tell them. So you can't be a follower, because if you're a follower telling the leader what to do, then you the leader.
Thank you.
So that's what leading correctly.
In order to be a good leader, at some point in your life, you had to be a follower. I think the biggest issue in our community is the point in your life when you were a follower is when you were a child.
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing the leading at that point? If 80% of our households are single mother-led households, or if 80% of the children are born in the single mother-led households, and they aren't men and don't know how to be men, how are they raising boys to be men?
Raising them to be what they, a facsimile, what they think men are. It's kind of like the whole thing with dinosaurs. You know, people never saw dinosaurs, but we saw fossils of them.
Right.
And we try to put models together on what we think they look like.
Yep.
But nobody really know. But it kind of looked like this model. Well, that's the same thing that happened in people's houses.
Yep.
What they've seen before but like, people don't know the burden that come with being the head and leader of a household.
No.
Like, they don't know. All they see, 48 laws of power again. You know what I'm saying? You make it look easy.
Yep.
And they see that, but they don't know all the stuff that go behind it. All of the stuff you got to sit and consider, and how you got to stay up when everybody asleep. You got to take your watch and be vigilant all the time.
All the time.
And then it's her job to fill in when you too tired. All right, I got it. You go ahead and rest. I got you. Because I'm going to tell you this. I got in a car accident yesterday. Young lady hit me in the back. I thought I had whiplash. My neck still hurting a little bit. Called the wife, said, hey, I just got hit. She said, oh, man, I'm going to be right there. So she came down there. I'm kind of out of it. Hey, my wife went up there. She handled the business. She got all the stuff done, took the pictures, did all that. All right, I'm taking you to the doctor. Bam. I ain't had to worry about that.
Yeah.
Now, that was her role. And she played that. That was her submitting to me. To me, submission is doing your role and doing your job.
Yep.
And she did that. I didn't even have to ask. She jumped in there and did it. Bam. I know I ain't got nothing to worry about. That's what submission is. Yep. And I submit to her when she needs stuff. Before she even know that she needed, it's there. I got it. That's what submission is. Submit ye one to another. What it is, man.
And I think that's something that we, as a group of people, as a community, definitely need to push and let be known. Listen, nobody's talking about trying to run you or slave you or any of that kind of stuff. Most men are simply saying, listen, this ain't got to be no fight. This shouldn't be no battle.
Exactly.
If you believe in me and trust in me and you feel like I'm a good man, when I come in the house and say, hey, baby, we gonna try to do this, we gonna do this, that's just what it is.
That's
because
right.
Other than that, what you want me here for?
And I'm gonna say this, and this is one thing I had to realize. I know I talk about my wife a lot. I love her, and she's good. But she have her moments too. And this is where I learned when I was going through my whole building of my self journey, is that everybody has a nature. We got things that we do on default. And a lot of times people fight against that nature to do what they know is right.
Yes.
So how does that apply to being married? Your wife may have a nature of questioning stuff and wanting to take the lead. And I think they all have that. But they fight against it and say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to step back. Because if you ask any woman, she'll say that. She'll say, oh, yeah, I had to learn how to step back.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't get mad. We got to recognize the points where they fight against that nature and do it.
Well, I mean, that's common in our community only because most women in our community have only seen women leading stuff. So if you growing up and there's nobody around but mama and grandmama and auntie, and all you ever seen is other women leading stuff, it's a learning curve for the women in our community to not just try to run the whole show. That's the learning curve for women in our community. And they, because of what they've been taught, have a natural, almost built-in lack of trust in men. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's almost like a double-edged sword for us, is because we got to show you, we got to show you that you can trust you, and then it only takes, a man can do 10 things right, but that one mistake, they're gonna go back to the default.
Or, the one thing you will encounter too is that if you don't do things the way that they would do them,
right?
And that's where I think this whole lead me correctly thing is coming into play.
Right.
We all drive certain places. We go into a destination, but we got different ways to get there, and the importance is that you get there.
Right. And I think that's a big thing too. Just because I don't do it the way you do it, don't make it wrong.
That's right.
We can both be right.
Mm-hmm. It's not a zero-sum game.
It's not a zero-sum game. You don't have it's not only one, and that's definitely something I've gone through in my relationship. Hey, look, I hear what you're saying, but this is the way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're gonna fuss with me about it, you can do it yourself.
There you go.
Or you can sit down and enjoy and let me do it.
That's right. Sit back and relax. So, man, if y'all got questions about that, go ahead and throw something in the comments. But, man, you ready to do this next one?
Oh, yeah, let's go, bro.
All right, man. Let me get it pulled up here. Let me try to. Oh, here we go. Hold on. We got something here. Marriage is give and take 50-50. Communication with your spouse. Yeah, oh, that's OG. OG. OG in the house. All right, marriages give and take 50-50. Communication with your spouse and only your spouse. Not every problem needs outside information.
Agreed. I think
Yeah.
one of the biggest issues in our current society is we take our family, our household business, and put it in the street.
Yep. And we need to recognize that everybody don't have the answer.
Nope.
Everybody don't. And when you married or in a long-term relationship and stuff like that, man, y'all learning as you go. Like I said, I've been married until I was 24. And I had to figure a whole bunch of stuff out. And I got to the point where like, oh man, I don't do this like my dad.
Nope.
And I don't do this like her dad. And we both had to arrive at that. But
Yep.
that's why I say that's what that word is so important. Submit to one another. It all talk about that. Submit to one another.
Listen, I'm gonna say this to you as well, Doc, and I want you to, and I understand. You come from two-parent household,
Mm-hmm.
and your wife come from two-parent household.
That's right.
It's no coincidence that y'all have been able to maintain your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Is even though you had to learn a lot of that on the fly, at least you've seen it work.
You're
and
right.
She's
You're
seen
right.
it work.
Yep.
I think when you come from a situation where you've seen it work, you're more willing to keep trying and put more effort in. When you've never seen it work,
That's
you're
right.
like, oh, well, I ain't never seen this work, so I'm gonna get on out of here because there's other things because you have seen it work to a certain extent another way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the next topic.
All right, man. Here's the last one, and you posted something in the group that was heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. Let me see. I want the Chrome tab here. I got to make sure I can do it to where the where y'all can hear the stuff. All right, here we go. We're gonna add this to the screen right there, and that's us. So that's the Book of Man page. If you ain't on the page, y'all need to go ahead and get there because some heavy stuff coming. That's us being live now. Right here. This. Let's see what we got here.
On men. You can be a woman and be 40 and be.
Oh, come on now, play for me. Oh, we ain't playing now. Don't play around with me. Let me refresh it right here and see if we can get to it. My bad for the technical delays. Here we go.
He has huge burdens on men. You can be a woman and be 40 and be.
Man, this still ain't working right. Maybe it's what it is. Okay. Well, let me close some of these windows here.
Broke. No one gives a shit. If you're a man and you're 40 something and you're fucking broke and ain't got a car, people are a bit like, how the fuck did you fuck your life up, bro? You're 40 and ain't got a car. We're supposed to be smart. We're supposed to be rich. Supposed to be interesting. Got to have jokes. Got to have child lines, right? Got to be charming. Got to be cool. Experiences, stories. We need to have a lot of shit to be an important man. To be a woman, you need makeup. If you're a hot woman, you don't need. If you're truly beautiful, you don't need anything else. I've been on boats in Dubai with 19-year-old Moldovan girls. The guy who got that boat needed $100 million. That bitch, makeup. Same boat, bro. Same boat. That's how hard it is. Look at a game of chess. The king moves one square at a time. He has to really work his way across the board. What does the queen do? Zips here, zips there. Easy for a chick, right? Now, if you're an ugly bitch, you can go, oh yeah, it's fine for the hot ones, but I'm an ugly one. Well, if you're an ugly bitch, fine. But to a lesser extent, you can do the same thing. You can still go out, down the high street, get a he has huge birth.
All right, that was it. Let's stop that. So the title of it was oh yeah, OG, performance issues. You got OG always come with all right, so men's suicide, because this was Male Mental Health Month, and
right.
And I'm mad I didn't do anything about that, but you know what? I can do it anytime we feel like it. So we're gonna do some more mental health stuff. But anyway, male suicide, and that's what you were talking about. All right, man, go ahead and lay it out there. What you got?
Okay, so when I saw that video, it took me back to something I've always said, that the burden of performance on men is different than it is on women. Mm-hmm. A woman is considered doing okay if she can take care of herself. Mm-hmm. A man isn't really considered doing okay until he can provide for a family.
Yeah.
the burden of performance is just different. I'm not saying what's harder or easier. I'm not saying it's harder to be a man, easier to be a man, or whatever. I'm simply saying what the measurements that we have to appeal to the opposite sex, which is a major part of your life. I don't care what nobody says.
It is.
The measurements that we have to accomplish to appeal to the opposite sex, to feel like to be thought of as high value amongst our peers, to be valued in society, those measurements and those metrics are simply different than they are for women. Women,
that's right.
Ladies, you guys are born with an inherent value, and your job is to maintain your value for as long as possible to get the things that you want, whatever that is, whether it's marriage, family, kids, career. I don't care what your goal is. Your job is to maintain that value and get as much as you can get and maximize your return. For a man, it's the opposite. We have to build our value over time to prove that we have it and grow it and continue to build it. And it's an argument I've had with my own daughters when they say, why you do things, you raise Staten different than you raise us, because he has a different burden of proof.
Yeah, that's right.
He has a different burden of proof than you girls have. When it's said and done, if things go haywire in his life, they're going to look at him and say, how did you fuck up?
Yeah.
Things go crazy in your life, they're going to give you every excuse in the world. If you're in a relationship, they're going to blame the man. If you're single, they're going to say, oh, it's hard for a single woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, black women got so much things against them. They're going to give you any and every caveat or excuse out there. For a man, we have none of those. There's no safety net. There's no backup. Either you stand on your own too and make it happen, or you're going to get treated like shit. Those are your two options.
And what's bad about it is the safety nets that were there, the one was eradicated by feminists. They will, male shelters.
Right.
Anything. They got rid of it. They bombarded it so bad that they had to close it. They cut off all the funding. I mean, there are men that need help. And now when you talk about the burdens and what he's talked about with the burdens, nobody understands.
Nope.
The only person that understands is another man.
Yep.
They don't get it. The weight that we have to carry on our shoulders. And it's not as easy as just saying you're going to put it down because you can't. Now, this whole suicide thing, man, is big to me. And I've been talking about it since day one. And how much of a problem it is. And man, people don't realize how big it is, how big of a problem this is. I know I'm gonna put the chart up here again, man. I'm gonna show y'all this again. We got some people watching who never saw it. Look at this. This comes from the government website for health and suicides and stuff like that. Look at this. Leading cause of death from 25 to 34 is suicide. Now, this is for men and boys. 10 to 14 suicide. 25 to 34. And this is where we lose all our boys at, right here. Because they don't know. And if I scroll down further, I'm going to say, I'm about to blow your socks off right here. Suicide rates by age group. Males on this side, females on that side. If you look at every number, males are 3 to 4 times more likely to did commit suicide in 2020.
Did commit, not likely.
They did do it. Look at this. 25 to 44, 7.2 females, but 28%.
4 times.
4. And it don't decrease. Man, these men under pressure. Look at the ethnicity. If you white, it's 3 times more. If you black, it's 4 times more.
Wow.
This happens. So that's why what we doing is important, because there's people out there just unaliving themselves and canceling the game out because they don't understand and not equipped to handle the burdens that they have to carry.
What we're talking about is a serious topic, but I want to say this.
Mm.
The fact that the word we're using is a trigger word is ridiculous. Like you have to literally say stuff like self-deletion or unalive, because to say the other word can get you cancer, can get your stuff blocked.
That's for the algorithm.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
It is.
The word itself is not a bad word. It's just a topic.
Nope. Uh-huh. Mm.
It just goes to speak to the society we live in. The society we live in is so regimented, so particular and PC that it's hard for a man to scratch his wings, scratch his legs, and build himself without being some kind of stomp out there saying, "Hold up, you can't do that."
Yeah. You can't say that. You can't be that.
Yeah. That's why I'm an '80s baby. I was raised on hip hop. We all were, and the thing, and now as a man, I realize how much of hip hop was negatively influenced a lot of black people.
When it changed, man, that was bad.
Yeah, but the one thing that has been consistent in hip hop is the hustle.
Right.
The idea that you can go out and build yourself from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I need all my men out there to remember that. Now, I've lived a journey in life where I've been up and down and up, and I'm not trying to go down ever again. But I have a certain level of confidence because I know I can crawl back from anything. Right. I can go from 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, car, job, to homeless and back because I've done it.
We're going to talk about that one day when you're ready, man. We need to do a Book of Man interview series to kind of get these dudes pumped up that they can do it, because the lion has done it.
You can do it. And it's that time when you're down is when this suicide thing really comes into play. And it's not even down financially, just down emotionally when this thing comes in.
That's the big part. But
yeah, because some of these people ain't not necessarily doing bad financially or in life.
No. It's the emotional part. Because there was a point where I was like, man, I get it. But look what OG put. Now, I got something to say about this. But he said it's being brought up to be strong and silent, not being taught to communicate what is wrong without scrutiny of being weak. I used to believe for a long time that was true. Since then, I think what has happened is that we don't recognize that men are different. I don't think it's no record. All of the studies, all of the people that the practitioners of this medical science, everything has a female slant.
Right.
So what I really think the truth is that not that we've been taught to do something a certain way. You probably was. But maybe that's how we're supposed to do it. And we have to communicate in a different way, not in the way they're telling us to do it. And the reason why I say that, because I've seen it with our boys in these schools.
Right.
We try to make the boys react to things like girls do, and it never works. But you got to do it different. And I don't think it's enough work being done out there to see how men react to things and what works best for them.
I'm gonna also go here. We went away from a time in this country where there were a lot of men's groups.
Yeah.
Social clubs just for men. There were places where men could go where it was just men.
Right.
Those places no longer exist unless you create them on an individual scale, because anytime you try to do that, it's considered sexist.
Yep, it's gonna be shut down.
Right. But I think that's why so many men are having trouble, because there are not places men can go to talk
Mm-hmm.
to one another. We
That's
don't
right.
even feel, it's to the point where men don't even feel safe talking to one another.
Yep.
More or less talking to the woman or a therapist. And a lot of people can't even have a straight up conversation with their quote unquote friends, and out of fear of feeling like they're going to be treated like they're weaker.
Yep. But I think that's a byproduct of all this is a byproduct of pulling men out and changing what masculinity is. I think all of that is the whole thing. You know, we got to look at ourselves differently. To me, that's what I think. I really think that's what it is. And we always, so what I noticed is that I hate all this blaming stuff, but it's blaming the victim for being the way that they are.
Yep.
That's what this is. It's your fault as a man that you don't have mental health. Instead of looking at the system as a whole, and we meet everybody where they are, but we don't meet the men where they are.
No.
You know what? And I'm gonna tell you where I got that from, man. I ain't made a video about this in a long time, but I'm gonna start back to today. I saw a TED talk, and the man was like, "How you doing? How would you rate yourself today? You know, with a number between 1 and 10. You know, remember I was making those videos every day. How would you rate yourself?" And he said the reason why he started doing that. He said his best friend killed himself, suicide. And he talked to him right before he did it. He said, "Man, how you doing?" And the dude said, "Man, I'm all right." And we let it ride. Because we always say we all right.
Yep. That's the default answer.
But then when he started saying, "How would you rate yourself?" Now we got to get into the granular part of it and then put ourselves at a level. We just can't, we'll say, "Yeah, man, I'm all right, man. But you know, I'm at like a 3 today." If somebody tell me they 1, 2, 3, 4, that means something wrong.
Yeah.
And then you can say, "Hey man, what's up?" And this man started doing that, and he helped so many people with that. That's why I started doing that. I mean, I've reached out to folks. They'll say, "Man, I'm a 4." I send them a message. "Man, how you doing? What's up?"
Yep. That's what happened with me and you. I replied. I think I said I was a 3 or a 4. You called me right up.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a difference.
But
it makes a difference, man. Having somebody to talk to, feeling comfortable, just knowing, not even doing it, but knowing you have somebody you can reach out to, it makes a tremendous difference in your life.
Man, I'm telling you, man, and I learned that, man. You got to have another man that you can talk to that been there. It won't work no other way. It cannot work no other way, because we have this unspoken language among us. There's certain things that's understood with our words.
Yeah.
That other people don't get. That's why it has to be another man.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna break it on down. If our relationships, our marriages, our girlfriends, whatever, these are a major part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain things about them that are harder to discuss with that person that you're in a relationship with, that you need to discuss with somebody else that you can trust. So if a big part of your issues in your life is this relationship, and you can't talk to that person about it, where are you gonna go? You know, and sometimes it's not even they are having an issue relationship. You just don't feel like you're performing in the relationship.
I've had all that. And when I talked to my homeboy, like before me and you talked, and I told you about my friend, I call him my brother, man, and he's the total opposite. You know, tall, slender white dude with an arm full of tattoos. That's my brother. I talked to him. It was like I talked to him, and even, you know, I've been married nearly 20 years, and it ain't all been peaches and cream. It's been some rough parts. And I would go to him and like, "Man, look, I'm struggling with this." And then he would tell me, "Man, look, you wrong. You got to do something. You got to do something different. It ain't her." So what did that do?
And it's like that. Sometimes you need somebody to tell you you're wrong.
Or they'll say, "Yeah, you're right. So how you gonna, you know, let's run through how the conversation gonna go." that keeps you from getting emotional.
Yep.
And saying something that's gonna mess up the whole thing. So he and I would sit and talk. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask her about this, and then she probably gonna say this, and then that, and we went through the whole thing. Came home, did it, and we still here. So that's what I'm saying, and that's why we started this group, man. We got to talk some more. We got to talk more.
Definitely got to talk some more. And I just want to say this to all the fellas out there. First off, this group, that's what this group is for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, post in the group, holler at us in our inbox, make a video, respond. You know, Dr. said he's gonna do the 1 to 10, respond to 1 to 10.
I'm gonna do it.
If all you want to do is put a number, we see a low number, we'll reach out.
That's it.
You know,
that is it.
You know, I don't care if you see the video, and you even got to see the video. You just go to the inbox and respond with a number because you don't want to say nothing. We here.
Bro, send me a message. Send me a message.
We gonna know what you're talking about. You respond. You just send me a message with a 3 in it. I'm gonna reply
all day long, man. I'm telling you, we got to build each other up.
We got to build each other up. It's so important. Nobody else can do it but us.
That's right.
Got to stop waiting and relying on somebody else to do it. We can do it right here. That's what the Book of Man is about.
That's right.
We appreciate y'all joining us this Saturday morning. We know it's the holiday weekend.
Oh, we got a grill.
Got the grill going on. Post them grill shots up. Who's smoking the brisket out there? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, get 2 plates. 2 plates.
2 plates. Get it right. Let's ride. The show we out this weekend, man. We want, you know what I'm saying? Whoever posts the best plate, we're gonna shout them out Thursday on the Book Man book study. We want to see them plates. We want to see them grills playing on. We want to see you pop that hood and the steam come up out of that boy. We celebrate.
Man, OG about to win that. Doggone it.
I know this America, and we don't like everything about them. But hey, it's a day off. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy our families. I'm about to go spend some time with mine right now as soon as I get off the line.
Yes, sir.
You know, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Love you, America. We out.
Later.